For this word problem, we want to use different colors for our graphs. Since they have purple, I'm going to use purple for expenses, and I'm going to use the same color that they have, green, for receipts. And then let's read the problem and make sure that we write our equations properly. Okay. So for Edwin's Bakery, they recently spent a total of $500 on new equipment, and their average hourly operating costs are $20. Now, before we write the equation, let's remember that they're not using X and Y. Instead of Y, we're using D for dollars. And I'm just going to put a D here. And instead of X, we're using hours, or I should say they've labeled it hours, so we'll use H. So we're going to write this equation, instead of saying Y equals mx plus b, we're going to say that the dollars, the amount they spent, the cost. And let me do that in purple again. The dollars they spent, that's not the right color, but it matters. The dollars they spent is equal to, they had a $500 equipment cost, plus they spend $20 every hour. $20 every hour, so that'll be 20H. So I want to make sure, tell me if you see why I put the 20 and the 500 there. Let me just see what I'm talking about right here. $20 for every hour. So the amount of money they're going to spend is 20 times a certain number of hours. We don't know what that is yet. All right, let's do the other equation. For the receipts, they're $45 an hour. And they don't start with any amount. So guess what number we'll use since they didn't give us a starting amount. Since they didn't give us anything, guess what? Well, let me put it here. Let me start writing it, and then I think you know the answer when I say it. So for receipts, our equation will be, go out of the way. There we go. The number of dollars will be the rate at which we get receipts, which is $45 times the number of hours, plus they didn't say that we start with a certain amount of receipts. So guess what number we have to put there since they didn't put anything? What do you think? Nope, an easier number than that. They didn't say we're going to start with 500. Since they didn't say anything, guess what number that will be? Yes, 0. Now you don't really have to write the 0, but that helps us. That makes it easier to graph it, doesn't it? So let's do the purple one first, the expenses. Let me click a purple pen here. Purple pen, okay. And our intercept is 500. 500 would be right here between 400 and 600. Can you see that? Maybe I'll make the dot a little bit better, a little bit darker. Okay. Now we want to go, our slope is 20. It's really 20 over 1, isn't it? But this scale doesn't go by ones. Like down here on this scale, it goes by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. So we'll want one of those numbers to be in the denominator. So there are many different ways we could write 20 over 1. Let me start. We could say 20 over 1, but they don't go by ones. So let's say we wanted to go by 5s. If I put a 5 on the bottom, what did I have to multiply 1 by to get 5? Good. So I have to multiply the top by 5 also, don't I? So I could say 100 over 5. Let's see if that'll fit on our graph. Could we go up 100 and over 5 on this? Yeah, we could. Okay. We could also go over 200. I'm sorry, up 200 and over 10. Both of these would work in this problem. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go, let me make sure I click my pen here first. Actually, let me mark it off before I do anything. I could go up 100, right? And then over 5, right? So that would give me a dot right there. Let me put a dot there, right? I could also go up 200, 100, 200, I need a thinner pen, and then over 10, right? Over, boom, boom. So I'd have a dot right there. I need to erase that other one here. Erase these other marks here. Okay. But do you see I could keep doing this, in fact? You don't have to when you use IXL, but can you see where the other dots would be? Wouldn't there be one here? Up another 100 and over 5, up another 100, over 5, up another 100 and over 5. You only have to do one when you're actually clicking these dots on the IXL, these points on the IXL. But that's going to be our purple line. Let me go ahead and draw it with purple. Would you tell me if I said it too fast, if you want to? Do you see where I got the up 100 and over 5? Right, right. Um, what you said, yeah, I didn't really multiply it by 5. I really multiplied it by 5 over 5, right? So, but I know what you meant when you said that, yeah. So let's draw that line and get rid of the ruler for just a moment. Now let's do the yellow line. That's going to start at 0. And I need to switch to yellow. And there we go. It's going to start at 0. There's 0 right there. Let me get rid of some other little hash marks that I made. These we don't want right now. Okay. So we start at 0, and we need to write 45 over 1 in a different way. So 45 over, darn it, 45 over 1. We could have a 5 on the bottom. I don't actually, let's see if that'll work. We'd have to multiply the top by 5, wouldn't we? What's 45 times 5? That'll be 225. That's going to be too hard to do, but I'll write it down. Couldn't we also multiply the top and the bottom by 10? That would be easier. Let me do that. We multiply the bottom by 10 and we multiply the top by 10. Would we get 450? And that we can do on here. We can go up 450. Well, actually, we could, but it would be easier to go up. Let's do this one more time. Let's go up by 20. Okay. If I multiply the bottom by 20 and the top by 20, wouldn't I get 900? That would be even easier to do. The others would work, but they'd be trickier. Okay. But 900 divided by 20 is equal to 45. You okay with that? Okay. Divided by 20 is 45. All right, so let's go up 900, or up by 900, I should say. I'll make a little hash mark here while I'm doing it, which isn't really that hard. Up 100, 200. Can you see those little hash marks? 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. Up 900 and over 20. Over 5, 10, 15. So my next little yellow mark is going to go right there. My yellow point will go right there. And I know there's already a purple dot there. Let me erase those other little hash marks that we don't need anymore. Okay, you don't have to make these. Whoops, darn it. You don't have to make these when you do the IXL line. It will be a lot more efficient. But let's just go ahead and connect those yellow with the line. Okay, I need to make that pretty thin. And then it's easy to see that they intersect right here. So what I want you to tell me, remember, instead of X and Y, we're having, I kind of erased it by accident, H for hours and D for distance. So the H is how far we go over. How many hours is that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25? What do you think? How many hours would that be? 20, yes. And how many dollars would that be? Yes, 900. Now we can answer the question. I forgot what the question was, but let's read it again. At the end of that problem, it says, how many hours will it take to make back the investment? And the answer is, you got it, 20 hours. All right. So I've recorded this so you can play it back if I, maybe went too fast or something like that. Let me go ahead and post a link to this, okay, under examples.